Hi everyone, I'm Candy from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you a little horse blanket. The blanket is made up of the main part, the edging, and decorations. First, we'll make the main part. Once it's done, we'll crochet the border around the main part. Finally, we'll make and attach the decorations. Let's start by learning the main part. First, I'll explain the crochet method for the main part. Later, I'll go over various situations you might encounter during the crocheting process. You can first watch my demonstration, and then follow the chart to crochet. Now, let me introduce the crochet method for the main part. The main part uses the diagonal method. Work back and forth in rows. It's divided into two areas, the increasing section and the decreasing section. In the middle, we continuously join new yarn and change colors to create the corresponding pattern. The stitches used include chain stitch, double crochet and slip stitch. Watch me demonstrate. Now let's take a look at the pixel chart. When crocheting, we follow both the stitch diagram and the grid chart together. First, let's look at the grid chart. I'll use this swatch to demonstrate. The pattern is not for reference. It's just to teach you how to read the chart. Numbers are marked on the grid chart. These numbers indicate which row it is. For example, here it says 1, meaning this is row 1. Here, both squares are labeled with 2, indicating this is row 2. Later, 3 squares all have the number 3, meaning this is row 3. And so on from there. So in a pixel chart, you read the rows diagonally like this. Note that sometimes the grid chart shows 0, 1 instead. It still means row 1. 0, 2 means row 2. And so on. Some charts don't have numbers inside the squares. Instead, the row numbers are marked beside them. 1 stands for row 1, 2 stands for row 2. Then you'll notice each square has a different color. These colored squares form various patterns. The color used for each square is indicated in the chart key. For example, the light blue square in this large chart corresponds to the light blue square in the color chart nearby. The text next to this light blue square indicates the yarn color number used for that square. Next, let's talk about the stitch diagram. One chart corresponds to a stitch pattern like this motif. First, locate the position marked 1. That's right here. Then you'll see an indicated crocheting direction on the chart. When crocheting, follow this direction as shown. Now let's start learning the crocheting method by following the video. To make it easier to watch, I'll use chunky yarn for this demonstration. Colors are used randomly. For specific yarn, color schemes, and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. First, make a foundation chain of 3 chains. Then work row 1. Chain 3 as beginning chain. Start from the 4th chain from the hook. Pick up 1 strand on the top of each chain and work 3 double crochets. Here we treat the 3 chains and 3 double crochets as one cluster. Row 1 has only one cluster. Row 1 is complete. Now work row 2. First, make a beginning chain of 3 chains. For working back and forth, turn the fabric over. Turn counterclockwise. Then pick up the 3 chains to work one cluster. First, chain 3 as beginning chain. At this point, the wrong side of the chain is facing you. Pick up the highest half stitch corresponding to the chain. That's one strand above the raised horizontal bar. Work 3 double crochets evenly into each stitch. If you can't find the exact position, you can also count from the right side of the chain. Once done, one cluster is complete. Insert the hook into the starting point of the first cluster. Into the large space next to it, right here. Insert into the large space and work a slip stitch. Continue to work one cluster here. Chain 3 as beginning chain. Insert into the same chain space, and work 3 double crochets. This row has 2 clusters completed. Row 2 is now complete. Move on to row 3. Start by chaining 3. Then turn. Insert into the position of these 3 chains and work one cluster. Insert into the front loop of the highest stitch and work. After completing, insert into the space between the beginning chain and double crochet of the adjacent group, that is the chain space next to the turning chain. Work a slip stitch. Then work one cluster in the same space. After completing, continue to the space of the next adjacent group. Work a slip stitch. Then work one cluster here. Row 3 is now complete. This row has 3 clusters completed, as you can see. The texture of this row corresponds to row 1. This is the right side of the piece. The double crochet texture looks neat and even. You can refer to the texture when distinguishing right side from wrong side later on. At the same time, the starting yarn tail should be at the bottom right corner. Next, work row 4. The method is the same as before. Start with a chain stitch. Then work 1 cluster. After completing it, pick up the gap of the adjacent group and slip stitch. Continue to work the second cluster. Correspondingly, make the group position for the following clusters. Use 1 slip stitch as a bridge between each group. Keep going with crocheting. Finish the last cluster. Row 4 is completed. There are 4 clusters in this row. Follow the chart instruction below. Continue crocheting the remaining increasing section. That's it for the increasing section. Now crochet the decreasing section. Reduce groups at both diagonal ends. Start by making 3 beginning chains. Turn. Join with a slip stitch into the cluster below. Then work 1 group. After completing, join with a slip stitch to the cluster on the left side. Continue correspondingly making groups in each stitch. Keep going until the inner side of the last cluster. Do not continue crocheting. Make a slip stitch instead. This way, 1 group is reduced at both the beginning and end. That completes this row. Move on to the next row. Use the same method. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. Turn and join with a slip stitch into the cluster below. Then crochet 1 group. After that, work each corresponding group in sequence. After completing the last group on the inner side, This row is now finished. From now on, continue crocheting using the same method as the first 2 rows. Keep going all the way to the last row. When completed, the final row will have only one group. After finishing, join with a slip stitch into the adjacent group. Finally, work 3 chains. Turn. Join with a slip stitch into the cluster below. Cut the yarn to finish. First, secure with a chain stitch. Leave a little yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Pull tight. Weave the yarn tail to the wrong side of the fabric. You can weave in a few more stitches for security. That concludes the explanation of the decreasing section. The crocheting method for this piece is now complete. Next, let's go over several situations you might encounter during the process of crocheting strip pieces. I'll explain and demonstrate using a swatch. First, I'll show the method of joining new yarn. There are 2 situations. I'll start with the first one. Joining new yarn at the beginning of a row. Please watch the demonstration. After completing the last stitch of the edge group in the previous row, stretch the loop. We thread the workpiece through the loop. Take the new yarn. Make a slip knot. Insert into the double crochet stitch at the edge. Draw the yarn through. Adjust the loop size. Chain 3 with the new yarn. Then turn the work. Start working the pattern. That's it for changing colors at the edge. Now I'll show the second case, joining new yarn in the middle of a row. Watch my demonstration. Place the yarn you're crocheting with on the wrong side of the piece. Take the new yarn. Make a knot. Insert the hook into the gap. Pull the yarn through. Keep the joining yarn tail on the backside. Then work one cluster. While working the cluster, you can wrap the joining yarn tail around the crochet. That completes the method of joining new yarn within a row. Now I'll demonstrate the case of keeping yarn tails when changing colors in adjacent groups. There are two situations. Let's start with the first one. When the neighboring area of this color block, either above or to the left, requires the same color yarn. Watch my demonstration. After completing this color block, don't cut the yarn. When working the next row, use this yarn. Just pull the yarn over and crochet the motif directly. Keep the working yarn on the wrong side of the fabric. Slightly tighten the previous yarn. Don't pull the carried yarn too tight. The carried yarn should be woven into the next motif when crocheting. That's it for the first situation. Now let's move to the second one. This color won't be used around this color block, but it will be needed again one motif apart at the lower left. Or if the same color yarn will be used at the upper left. We can simply carry the yarn over and crochet the motif directly. That's it for the second situation. So much for the method of leaving yarn tails when changing colors between adjacent motifs. Now let's talk about changing colors between adjacent motifs without leaving yarn tails. But if it will be used again two or more motifs apart at the lower left, we can leave a 15 cm tail. Then cut it off. Simply join a new yarn when crocheting the motif. Then I'll demonstrate how to weave in the ends after cutting the yarn. Color change section. First, pull the yarn tail through the chain above. Gently tighten. This is like tying a knot. The remaining yarn tail will be hidden on the wrong side of the fabric. Weave in the tail for several stitches. If you want it more secure, split the yarn tail into 2 strands. Tie a double knot with the 2 tails. Then weave both ends together into the fabric. Weave in the tail for several stitches. All yarn tails except the starting tail should be woven into the fabric separately. The joining yarn tail should also be woven in for several stitches within the fabric. That concludes how to handle adjacent pattern repeats when changing colors without leaving tails. Next, let's talk about when the same color blocks are farther apart in one row, meaning there are 2 or more patterns in between. To make crocheting easier, you can join a new yarn in one of the areas. A skein of yarn has 2 ends. One end at the surface and one at the center. When working with a color that only has one skein, use the other end of the same skein to join. For colors with multiple skeins, you can start a new skein to join. First, place the previous color's yarn tail on the wrong side of the piece. Then pick up the corresponding yarn and join it. That covers how to handle far apart same color blocks in one row. Now let's move on to crocheting the edging, which is worked around the completed main part. You'll need to change colors along the way. The new stitches used are single crochet, 3 SC in 1, DC 3 together in 1. Please watch the demonstration. Take the finished piece. I'll demonstrate using a swatch. Start with round 1. Place the blanket with the right side facing up. Locate the topmost cluster on the edge where the beginning chain is. We'll join the yarn by picking up the chain above this cluster. Pick it up entirely, and crochet into it. Take the yarn. Tie a slip knot. Insert the hook into the knotted loop. Pull the yarn through. Adjust the loop size. Joining the yarn is complete. Make one beginning chain. Work 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Weave in the yarn tail for joining as you go. Continue by picking up the entire chain on the left side and crocheting 2 single crochets. Then pick up the entire adjacent chain and crochet 3 single crochets. We'll treat the completed single crochets as a pattern group. After that, pick up the entire chain. Follow the pattern of crocheting 2 single crochets, 2 single crochets, 3 single crochets. Continue until just before the last 2 clusters on the left side. Above the last 2 clusters, pick up each entire loop and crochet 2 single crochets in each. This completes one side. Next, at the corner on the left side, pick up a few strands randomly and crochet 1 single crochet 3 in 1, meaning 3 single crochets in the same position. Rotate the piece. Follow the same crocheting method used for the previous side. Refer to the chart and continue crocheting up to the position before the next corner. Once completed, at the corner, again pick up a few strands randomly, and crochet 1 single crochet 3 in 1. Rotate the piece. The crocheting pattern for the side remains the same as before. But now when you reach a starting chain position like this, pick up the other 2 strands of the chain and crochet into them. If during the process one stitch corresponds to 2 single crochets, pick the insertion points of the first and third stitches and crochet into them. Skip the middle stitch without working it. If you encounter a double crochet, pick up the strands of the double crochet and crochet into them. Remember to crochet 3 single crochets at each corner position. Follow the chart to complete this round. Once completed, join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. Cut the yarn. That's it for the first round. Move on to crochet round 2. Take the yarn. Attach yarn in the first stitch of the previous round. Work 3 chains as beginning chain. Counts as 1 double crochet. Work 2 double crochets in the left stitch. Chain 1 as a bridge. Skip 1 stitch below. Work 2 double crochets in the left stitch. Chain 1 as a bridge. Skip 1 stitch below. Work 2 double crochets in the left stitch. Then continue with the pattern, chain 1 as a bridge. Skip 1 stitch, work 2 double crochets. Keep crocheting until the last single crochet on this edge. Once completed, work 1 double crochet in the last single crochet. This edge is now done. Then work 1 chain as a bridge. In the middle stitch of the 3sc in 1 at the left corner position, work 7 double crochets. Once completed, chain 1 as a bridge. The corner is now done. Skip 1 stitch. Work 3 double crochets in the left stitch, one by one. Then follow the pattern, chain 1 as a bridge. Skip 1 stitch, work 2 double crochets. Keep going until the last single crochet on this edge. Once completed, work 1 double crochet in the last single crochet. Another side is now done. Then work 1 chain as a bridge in the middle stitch of the 3 SC in 1 at the left corner position. Work 7 double crochets. Once completed, work 1 chain as a bridge. The corner position is now done. Then follow the previous demonstration for the edges and corners. Crochet the entire round. The last chain stitch is done. Directly pick up both strands of the third chain in the beginning chain, and join with a slip stitch. The second round is complete. Cut the yarn. Now start the third round. Take the yarn. Join yarn in the chain space from the last stitch of the previous round. Make 1 beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same position. Then work 4 chains as a bridge. Work 1 single crochet in the chain space on the left side. 3 chains as a bridge. Work 1 single crochet in the next chain space. Continue by working 1 single crochet in each chain space. Work 3 chains as a bridge between each single crochet. Continue until the second to last chain space on the left side. Once completed, work 4 chains as a bridge. Work 1 single crochet in the last chain space. This edge is now done. Then work 3 chains as a bridge. Work 1 single crochet in the third double crochet stitch on the left side. 5 chains as a bridge. Skip 1 stitch underneath. Work 1 single crochet in the adjacent stitch. 3 chains as a bridge. The corner position is now complete. For the following edge and corner, follow the same demonstration as before. Refer to the chart and continue crocheting all the way around. Finally, pick up the stitch and join with a slip stitch. The third round is complete. Now move on to the fourth round. First work one slip stitch transition into the left chain space. Make one beginning chain. Work one single crochet in the same space. 3 chains as a bridge. Work one single crochet in the left space. Work 6 double crochets in the adjacent space. Work one single crochet in each of the 3 left spaces. Between each single crochet, work 3 chains as a bridge. We'll consider the stitch pattern from the first DC on the right to now as a sequence. Continue crocheting this edge by repeating this sequence. Once completed, work 10 double crochets in the chain space of the 5 chains on the left. From now on, follow the pattern chart to complete this round. After finishing the last 3 chains, join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. This completes the 4th round. Continue to crochet the 5th round. Make a slip stitch transition in the left chain space. Do not tighten. Make one beginning chain. Work one single crochet in the same space. Work one double crochet in each double crochet stitch on the left. Make one chain as a transition between each 2 DC. After completing, work one single crochet in each of the 2 chain spaces on the left. Make 3 chains as a bridge between the single crochets. From now on, follow the pattern chart to finish this round. Complete the last single crochet without making a chain. Directly pick up the first stitch, and work a double crochet to join. This completes the 5th round. Now crochet the 6th round. Make one beginning chain. Work one single crochet by picking up both loops of the double crochet below. Then in the small chain space on the left, work a DC3 together in one bobble stitch. First make 3 incomplete double crochets. Make the first one, yarn over. Insert the hook, yarn over and pull through. Yarn over again, pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. This completes 1 incomplete double crochet. Make 2 more incomplete double crochets in the same position. Once done, yarn over and pull through all loops at once. This completes one DC3 together in one bobble stitch. We'll simply call it a bobble stitch from now on. Then work 3 chains as a transition. In the next space, work 1 bobble stitch. First, make 3 incomplete double crochets. Then yarn over and pull through all loops at once. This completes the second bobble stitch. 3 chain transition. In the 3 chain spaces on the left side, work 1 bobble stitch in each. Join with 3 chains between them. Complete 1 single crochet in the space on the left. From now on, follow the pattern chart to finish this round. Join with a slip stitch. This completes round 6. Cut the yarn. Now work the final round. Take the yarn. Join yarn in the gap between the first and second stitch. Or you can attach yarn in the second bobble stitch itself. Make 1 beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same position. In the left side space, work 2 single crochets. 3 chains. Then work 2 more single crochets in the same space. We'll treat these stitches in this space as a group. Then work this same sequence in each of the next 3 spaces. Once completed, make 1 single crochet in the gap between the left bobble stitch and the single crochet. Or you can work a single crochet directly into the single crochet stitch. Work 1 single crochet in the gap between the left single crochet and the bobble stitch. Or work it directly into the bobble stitch. Whenever you meet this position later, work it the same way. Just follow the chart to finish this round. Finally join with a slip stitch. Cut the yarn and weave in the ends. This completes the final round. Now let's talk about the decorations. Divided into eyebrows and eyes. The eyebrows are embroidered. The eyes are made using a foundation chain. Crochet along the starting chain. Once completed, refer to the finished product image, and sew them onto the corresponding positions. Now I'll first demonstrate the crocheting method for the eyes. Take the yarn. Leave a 10 cm yarn tail at the beginning. Then start with a slip knot. Don't pull the starting knot too tight. Then work 11 chain stitches. Once completed, begin from the second to last stitch. Pick up one strand on the top of each chain, and work 8 slip stitches in a row. Make the eyes slightly tighter. Then leave a 30 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. That's it for the crocheting method of the eyes. Thread the reserved yarn into a darning needle. Sew the eyes onto the corresponding positions on the blanket. I'm placing them randomly here, just demonstrating the method. First take the reserved yarn. Pass it through the starting knot that I told you not to tighten. Gently tighten. Make the horizontal thread level with the chain stitch. Then pick through the blanket and insert. Then pass back and forth through this knot twice. Start by securing the initially reserved yarn on the wrong side. Once completed, pick up a few strands on the surface of the blanket. And sew them together with the few strands on the back of the eye. The front of the eye consists of this braid-like shape and one strand. First sew the part made with slip stitches. Adjust the position while sewing. When done, embroider the eyelashes, evenly distributed across the middle section. Finally, tie off and weave in ends. Make sure to weave in a few extra stitches. And hide the starting yarn tail as well. That's how the eye is secured. Next, take a new thread for embroidering the eyebrows. Here I'm using random colors, about 30 centimeters. Refer to the finished product image for positioning. First, tie a knot on the wrong side to secure. Then begin embroidering the eyebrows. Each eyebrow segment is about 1 centimeter long. Embroider twice. And secure slightly in the middle. Finally, tie off and weave in the ends neatly. That's how the eyebrow is finished. Up to this point, this product has been fully explained. If you still have unclear parts during the crocheting process, don't hesitate to join our Facebook group to get supports. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.